Nestled amidst rolling hills and whispering willows lay the small town of Willow Creek. Life moved at a slower pace here. The air was filled with the scent of pine and the sound of birdsong. It was a place where time seemed to stand still. Willow Creek was a town where everyone knew their neighbors. Children played freely in the streets. Summer evenings were spent on porches, sipping lemonade and sharing stories. It was the kind of place where dreams took root and friendships blossomed. In the heart of Willow Creek, two souls were about to embark on a journey. Their story would become a tale whispered on the wind, a testament to the enduring power of love. This is the story of Mia and Ethan. Their story begins on a sunny afternoon. The sun cast long shadows as children's laughter echoed through the streets. Mia, a young girl with eyes as bright as the summer sky, was lost in her world of colors and dreams. Mia's heart belonged to art. She saw the world through an artist's eyes. Every leaf, every ray of sunlight, held a story waiting to be told. With a paintbrush in hand, she brought her imagination to life. Ethan, a boy with a mischievous grin and a heart full of music, lived just a stone's throw away. Ethan's world was filled with melodies and rhythms. He could find music in the rustling leaves and the babbling brook. His guitar was his constant companion. Their paths crossed one fateful afternoon. Mia was sketching in the park, her brow furrowed in concentration. Ethan, drawn by the vibrant colors of her artwork, paused to admire her work. As their eyes met, a spark ignited, a connection that would forever bind their destinies. From that day forward, Mia and Ethan were inseparable. They spent their days exploring the woods surrounding Willow Creek, their laughter echoing through the trees. Summers were filled with adventures. They built forts in the woods, their imaginations running wild. They shared secrets whispered under the starlit sky. Each shared moment strengthened the bond between them. As they grew older, their friendship deepened. Mia dreamed of sharing her art with the world, of her paintings being displayed in galleries. Ethan, with his guitar in hand, yearned to move hearts with his music. They spent hours lost in their own world, Mia sketching in her notebook while Ethan strummed his guitar. They inspired each other, pushing each other to chase their dreams. Their connection was undeniable, a symphony of shared dreams and unspoken feelings. Their hearts beat in unison, their laughter echoing through the Willow Creek nights. They were young and full of hope, their futures stretching before them like an endless canvas. The bond between Mia and Ethan was unbreakable, forged in shared dreams and childhood adventures. They were each other's confidants, their souls intertwined like the roots of the ancient oak tree that stood as a silent sentinel in the heart of Willow Creek. Little did they know that life had other plans, that fate had a way of testing even the strongest of bonds. Their idyllic world, their sanctuary in Willow Creek, was about to be shaken to its core. For in the tapestry of life, joy and sorrow are often interwoven. And so, as the sun began to set on their childhood, a shadow loomed on the horizon, threatening to tear Mia and Ethan apart. The summer they turned 16, a promise hung in the air between Mia and Ethan. It wasn't spoken aloud, not yet. But it shimmered in their shared glances, in the way their laughter mingled like the melodies Ethan coaxed from his guitar. They were young, their lives still unfolding before them like a freshly painted canvas. But in the depths of their hearts, they knew. Their connection ran deeper than friendship, their bond woven from something stronger, something that whispered of forever. One warm evening, as the fireflies began their nightly dance, Mia and Ethan found themselves drawn to their special place, a secluded clearing in the woods, where a majestic willow tree stood guard. Its branches, heavy with years and draped in Spanish moss, created a canopy of emerald green. Beneath the willow's protective embrace, they had spent countless hours, sharing secrets, dreams, and the unspoken language of the heart. It was their sanctuary, a place where the world outside faded away and only they existed. Ethan strummed his guitar, the chords echoing softly in the stillness of the woods. Mia, her sketchbook open on her lap, watched him, her heart thrumming along to the rhythm of his music. His music always had that effect on her. It spoke to her soul, expressing the emotions she sometimes struggled to put into words. It was the soundtrack of their shared history, each note a memory, each chord a promise. As the last notes faded into the summer night, Ethan set his guitar aside and turned to Mia, his eyes reflecting the soft glow of the moon. He wanted to tell her how he felt, to pour out the words that had been gathering in his heart for so long. But something held him back, a fear of shattering the fragile beauty of the moment. For words, once spoken, could never be unsaid. And so he remained silent, content to let the silence speak volumes. Mia, her senses attuned to Ethan's every breath, felt the weight of his gaze upon her. She looked up from her sketchbook, her heart pounding in her chest. Their eyes met, a silent conversation passing between them. In that shared look, they acknowledged the depth of their feelings, the unspoken words that hung heavy in the air. It was a moment of pure, unadulterated connection, a moment that would forever be etched into the fabric of their souls. They didn't need words, not then. Their silence spoke volumes, conveying a depth of emotion that transcended language. It was a promise whispered on the wind, a vow exchanged beneath the watchful gaze of the ancient willow tree. As the night deepened, they made their way back to Mia's house, their hands brushing against each other's, sending shivers down their spines. They lingered on her porch steps, reluctant to let the night end. But even as they stood there, bathed in the soft glow of the porch light, a shadow loomed on the horizon. Change was coming, an unwelcome guest that threatened to disrupt the delicate balance of their world. Ethan's father, a restless soul always searching for new opportunities, had received a job offer in another state. It was an offer he couldn't refuse, a chance for a fresh start, a better life for his family. The news hit Ethan like a bolt from the blue. His world, so carefully constructed around his connection with Mia, crumbled around him. How could he possibly leave Willow Creek, leave Mia? He knew he had to tell her, to share the burden of this unwelcome news. But the words stuck in his throat, choked by the fear of her reaction, the thought of the pain he knew he was about to inflict. The day Ethan told Mia about his family's impending move was the saddest day of their young lives. Tears flowed freely as they clung to each other beneath the willow tree, their sanctuary now a symbol of their impending separation. Promises were whispered, vows exchanged to stay connected, to keep their bond strong despite the distance that would soon separate them. They swore to write, to call, to keep each other close in their hearts. As Ethan's family's car pulled away from Willow Creek, Mia stood on the porch, her heart breaking with each passing mile. She watched as Ethan, his face pressed against the back window, shrunk smaller and smaller until he was nothing but a distant memory. The promise they had made beneath the willow tree echoed in her ears, a bittersweet reminder of what they had and what they stood to lose. But Mia was determined to hold on to that promise, to keep their love alive, no matter the distance, no matter the cost. The days that followed Ethan's departure were the longest of Mia's life. The once vibrant colors of Willow Creek seemed to fade, the laughter of children replaced by an unsettling silence. Even the rustling leaves whispered Ethan's name, mocking her with memories of their shared laughter. She found herself drawn to their special places, seeking solace in the familiar surroundings that held the echoes of their love. The swing on her porch, where they had spent countless hours lost in conversation, now stood empty, a constant reminder of his absence. Mia tried to lose herself in her art, seeking refuge in the world of colors and textures. But her usual vibrant hues seemed dull, her brush strokes lacking their usual energy. Ethan's absence had left a void in her heart, a void that not even her art could fill. Nights were the hardest. The silence of her room was deafening, amplifying the ache in her heart. Sleep, when it came, was filled with vivid dreams of Ethan, dreams that left her waking with a gasp, tears streaming down her face. At first, the letters they exchanged were filled with the excitement of new experiences, the thrill of starting over in a new place. Ethan wrote of his new school, his band, the friends he was making. Mia shared her triumphs and frustrations as she navigated the challenges of finding her artistic voice. But as weeks turned into months, the letters became less frequent, the tone more subdued. The distance between them, once a mere physical separation, began to seep into their words, creating a chasm that threatened to swallow their once unbreakable bond. Mia poured her heart out in her letters, sharing her fears, her hopes, her dreams. She wrote of the empty swing on her porch, the way the colors seemed less vibrant without him by her side. She longed for his replies, clinging to his words as a lifeline, a tangible reminder of their connection. Despite the growing distance and the unspoken ache in her heart, Mia refused to let go of her dreams. She poured her emotions into her art, her canvases becoming a reflection of her journey, her pain, her resilience. Her work began to attract attention. Local galleries showcased her paintings, her use of color and light captivating art lovers and critics alike. Mia's talent, nurtured by years of practice and fueled by her love for Ethan, was finally being recognized. Meanwhile, miles away, Ethan was making his own mark on the world. His band, their music a blend of soulful melodies and heartfelt lyrics, was gaining a following. Ethan's voice, raw with emotion, resonated with audiences, his songs often echoing the unspoken longing in his own heart. They celebrated each other's successes from afar, their phone calls filled with a mixture of pride and bittersweet longing. Yet, with each achievement, the distance between them seemed to widen. Mia's art career was taking off, offering opportunities that would require her to travel, to step outside the comfort of her small-town existence. Ethan's band was on the verge of signing a record deal, a dream come true that would propel them into the whirlwind world of touring and recording. The promise they had made beneath the willow tree, the vow to stay connected, seemed increasingly fragile in the face of their diverging paths. Their dreams, once shared and intertwined, were now pulling them in different directions, threatening to tear them apart. One day, a glimmer of hope arrived in the form of an invitation. A prestigious art gallery in the city where Ethan now lived was hosting a group exhibition. Mia's work had been selected for display. Her heart skipped a beat. This was it. A chance to reconnect with Ethan, to rekindle the flame that had flickered but never truly died. The city, once a symbol of their separation, now held the promise of a reunion, a chance to rewrite their story. As Mia boarded the train, her heart pounding with a mixture of anticipation and trepidation, she couldn't help but wonder if fate was finally smiling upon them. Could this be the start of a new chapter in their love story? A chance to bridge the distance that had threatened to keep them apart? Train journey was a blur of anticipation. Mia, her sketchbook filled with new ideas inspired by the ever-changing scenery, could barely contain her excitement. With each passing mile, she felt a growing sense of expectation, a feeling that something momentous was about to unfold. The city, a sprawling metropolis of steel and glass, shimmered under a canopy of twilight. As the taxi navigated the crowded streets, Mia couldn't help but feel a surge of both exhilaration and trepidation. This was Ethan's world now, a world so different from the quiet tranquility of Willow Creek. Her hotel room, perched high above the bustling streets, offered a breathtaking view of the city lights. But Mia's gaze was drawn to the phone, her fingers hovering over the buttons. Should she call Ethan? Should she let him know she was here? After what felt like an eternity of indecision, she finally gave in to the urge. As the phone rang, each tone sending a jolt of nervous energy through her, Mia prayed that he would answer, that his voice would chase away the years of unspoken longing and regret. The gallery was a hive of activity, filled with the murmur of conversations and the clinking of champagne glasses. Mia, dressed in a simple yet elegant black dress that accentuated her curves, felt a surge of pride as she surveyed the room. Her paintings, a testament to her talent and her journey, adorned the walls, each brushstroke a piece of her soul. She had deliberately avoided contacting Ethan about the exhibition, wanting to surprise him. Part of her hoped he would somehow sense her presence in the city, that their connection, the invisible thread that had bound them together all these years, would lead him to her. As the evening progressed, Mia found herself lost in conversations with art enthusiasts and fellow artists, their compliments both flattering and overwhelming. Yet beneath the surface of her composure, a part of her remained detached, her gaze constantly scanning the crowd, searching for a familiar face. Just when Mia had resigned herself to a night of bittersweet longing, she felt a tap on her shoulder. Turning, her breath caught in her throat. Standing before her, a hesitant smile gracing his lips, was Ethan. Time seemed to stand still as their eyes met, the years melting away as if they had never been apart. He had changed, of course. The boyish charm had given way to a more rugged handsomeness, his eyes reflecting the experiences of a life lived on his own terms. But beneath it all, Mia recognized the soul she had loved since childhood, the soul that resonated with her own. "Mia," he breathed, his voice a mixture of disbelief and wonder. "Is it really you?" All the words Mia had rehearsed, all the carefully constructed sentences she had planned to say, evaporated in that instant. All she could manage was a choked sob, a sound that conveyed the years of longing, the pain of separation, the joy of reunion. The rest of the evening passed in a blur of shared smiles, whispered conversations, and stolen glances. They slipped away from the crowded gallery, seeking refuge in the relative quiet of a nearby park, their footsteps echoing on the cobblestone paths. As they walked, the city lights painting their faces in a mosaic of colors, they shared stories of their lives, their triumphs, their heartbreaks. The years of separation faded into the background, their conversation flowing effortlessly, as if no time had passed at all. Ethan spoke of his music, his band's success, the challenges of staying true to his artistic vision in a world driven by commercialism. Mia listened intently, her heart swelling with pride at his accomplishments, her fingers itching to capture the passion in his eyes on her canvas. They found themselves drawn to a secluded bench overlooking the river, the city lights twinkling like fireflies in the distance. Ethan, his guitar case lying open beside him, his fingers instinctively reaching for the worn strings of his instrument, turned to Mia, a shy smile gracing his lips. I wrote something for you, he confessed, his voice barely above a whisper. A long time ago, actually. I never forgot you, Mia, not for a single day. And then, his fingers began to move, coaxing a melody from the strings, a melody both haunting and familiar. As he sang, his voice filled with raw emotion, Mia realized he was singing about their childhood, their shared dreams, the willow tree that had witnessed their unspoken promises. Tears streamed down Mia's face as she listened, each note resonating deep within her soul. It was the most beautiful song she had ever heard, a testament to the enduring power of their love, a love that had survived time and distance. The following weeks were a whirlwind of rediscovery. They spent every stolen moment together, exploring hidden cafes, wandering through museums hand in hand, their laughter echoing through the city streets. It was as if they were making up for lost time, each shared experience a precious jewel to be treasured. The city, once a symbol of their separation, now became the backdrop for their second chance at love. Yet, beneath the surface of their joy, a sense of unease lingered. Summer wouldn't last forever. Mia's career was calling, beckoning her to new horizons. Ethan's band had commitments, tour dates that would take him away from her once again. On their last night together, they found themselves drawn back to the park bench overlooking the river. The city lights, a constellation of hope and longing, mirrored the emotions swirling within them. I don't want to let you go, Ethan whispered, his voice rough with emotion. But I know we both have dreams to chase. Mia, her heart aching at the thought of another separation, nodded, her fingers tracing the lines of his palm. Distance can't erase what we have, she said, her voice filled with quiet conviction. We'll find a way, Ethan. We always do. And so, under a canopy of stars, they made a promise to stay connected, to support each other's dreams, to nurture the love that had bloomed anew in the heart of the city. A love that, despite the challenges that lay ahead, they both knew would light their way home, no matter how far apart life might take them. As summer surrendered to autumn, Mia and Ethan navigated the bittersweet reality of their long-distance love. Mia returned to Willow Creek, her heart brimming with purpose. Ethan's love awakened a dormant passion within her. Ethan threw himself into his music with renewed fervor. Their music reached a wider audience each day. Their phone calls became a lifeline, bridging the miles. Mia's laughter echoed through Ethan's lonely hotel rooms. They poured their hearts out in late-night phone calls, their voices a comforting presence across the miles. They celebrated each other's triumphs, offering words of encouragement during moments of self-doubt. They shared their vulnerabilities, finding solace in the knowledge that they weren't alone in their struggles. Distance, they discovered, could be a double-edged sword. It tested their love, forcing them to confront their insecurities and their fears. But it also strengthened their bond, proving that true love transcended physical proximity. Mia's art became her sanctuary, her canvases a reflection of her emotional landscape. She poured her longing for Ethan into every brushstroke, her paintings pulsating with a raw vulnerability that resonated deeply with art enthusiasts. Her career blossomed. Her work featured in prestigious galleries, her talent recognized far beyond the borders of her small town. Ethan, inspired by Mia's unwavering love and support, channeled his emotions into his music. His songwriting took on a new depth, his lyrics resonating with a raw honesty that touched the hearts of millions. His band's music became an anthem for lovers, separated by distance, their songs a testament to the enduring power of the human heart. Seasons changed, leaves turned from vibrant hues to golden brown, then gave way to the stark beauty of winter. Spring arrived, bringing with it the promise of new beginnings, the air alive with the scent of blooming flowers. And through it all, Mia and Ethan held on to their love, their bond unyielding in the face of time and distance. They found ways to bridge the gap, to keep the flame of their love burning bright. Mia sent Ethan care packages filled with her artwork, her love woven into every brushstroke. Ethan surprised Mia with handwritten letters, his words filled with longing and devotion, each letter a cherished treasure. They made time for virtual dates, sharing meals over video calls, laughing at each other's jokes, their eyes reflecting the depth of their love. They found solace in the mundane, in the everyday moments that reminded them of the extraordinary connection they shared. Months later, fate intervened in the most unexpected way. Mia was preparing for her first solo exhibition, her nerves a tangled mess of excitement and trepidation. The gallery buzzed with activity, the air thick with anticipation. As the crowd began to gather, Mia's heart pounded in her chest. She scanned the faces, searching for a familiar pair of eyes, a reassuring presence amidst the chaos. And then, she saw him, standing near the back of the gallery, a shy smile gracing his lips, a bouquet of sunflowers in his hand. Time seemed to stand still as their eyes met across the crowded room. The world around them faded into insignificance, their love an unbreakable thread connecting them amidst the throng of strangers. Ethan made his way towards her, his eyes never leaving hers, his heart pounding in unison with hers. The weekend of Mia's exhibition was a stolen paradise. They strolled hand in hand through the city streets, their laughter echoing through the night air. They revisited their favorite haunts, each shared moment a precious reminder of the love they had nurtured despite the miles that separated them. But as the weekend drew to a close, the weight of their decision loomed large. Mia's career was taking off, offering opportunities that would require her to travel, to share her art with the world. Ethan's band was on the cusp of international fame, their music resonating with a global audience. They found themselves at a crossroads, their paths diverging once more. The thought of saying goodbye filled them with dread, yet they both knew that clinging to the past would only stifle their growth, both as individuals and as a couple. As they sat on the beach, the waves crashing against the shore a soothing symphony, Ethan took Mia's hand in his thumb gently stroking her skin. "I don't want to live without you, Mia," he said, his voice filled with raw emotion. "But I also know we can't keep putting our lives on hold." Mia, her heart echoing his sentiments, nodded, tears welling up in her eyes. "We'll find a way," she whispered, her voice thick with emotion. "We always do." And so, they began to brainstorm, their creative minds working in tandem. They talked about merging their passions, about creating a life that embraced both their dreams. They envisioned a future where Mia's art and Ethan's music complemented each other, their talents intertwined like the threads of a beautiful tapestry. The months that followed were a whirlwind of activity. They pooled their resources, their creativity knowing no bounds. Mia's art became an integral part of Ethan's band's visual identity, her paintings adorning their album covers, her murals transforming their concert stages into breathtaking works of art. They traveled the world together, their love story unfolding against a backdrop of vibrant cities and breathtaking landscapes. Mia's art found a global audience, her talent celebrated on an international stage. Ethan's music soared to new heights, his lyrics infused with the depth of their shared experiences. Their love story, once a tale whispered on the wind in a small town, had blossomed into a testament to the enduring power of the human heart. They had defied distance, overcome obstacles, and emerged stronger than ever, their love a beacon of hope in a world often shrouded in darkness. Years flew by, each one a testament to the enduring power of Mia and Ethan's love. They built a life together, both extraordinary and wonderfully ordinary. Their love story blossomed into a vibrant tapestry, woven from shared dreams and unwavering support. Mia's art flourished, her talent recognized worldwide. Her galleries became spaces where art transcended mere aesthetics. Ethan's music, inspired by Mia's love, soared to new heights. His songs, co-written with Mia, became anthems of love and hope. They built a cozy home, filled with sunlight and laughter. One warm summer evening, as the sun began its slow descent over Willow Creek, casting long shadows across the porch, Mia and Ethan sat side by side on their porch swing, their hands intertwined, their love a tangible presence in the twilight air. Ethan, his hair now streaked with silver, reached for his guitar, its wood worn smooth by years of faithful service. His fingers danced across the strings, coaxing a familiar melody into the stillness of the evening. Mia leaned her head against Ethan's shoulder, her voice blending effortlessly with his as they sang their anthem, a testament to their enduring love. As the last notes faded into the twilight, a comfortable silence settled over them. They sat in the quiet contentment of shared history, their love a timeless melody, a love song for the ages.